All right, here we are at the Yellow Hive in Peterson Community Garden. This is May 14th, Mother's Day, Sunday afternoon. Later in the day than I normally inspect, but the rain prevented me from doing a lot of stuff this weekend, so here we are. I've got two hives here, or two colonies rather, in the one hive, separated by a divider board, and the primary purpose for this inspection is to make sure that both sides have enough frames to grow on, make sure they seem queen right, and that's about it. Give them a little smoke and let them chill out for a few minutes. Oh, that is worth mentioning, Ron, that they might, because it's late in the day, a lot of the bees that are normally out foraging when I inspect are likely here. So they could be more aggressive than usual.
Okay.
Okay. So I've got two sides. This one right now only has 4 frames, and I can tell already, Ron, in there's a white plastic box in the back seat of the truck. Could you just bring that box? It has several extra frames. I'm going to need one here. So I can tell now, looking at this frame that's marked as, well, it's actually our frame 4 in position, and it is drawn out all the way to the bottom. They're storing lots and lots of nectar. I'm going to hold it upright instead of flipping it over. Should be able to see the glint of the nectar in there. This is going to be exclusively a honey frame. Right now, I don't see any of it capped, but I would anticipate that next inspection we'll probably have a sizable amount of them capped. All right, now we're looking at frame 3. This one it's also drawn all the way to the bottom. It's brood. Nice pattern of brood. Got some bee bread, lots of nectar, open brood and capped brood. Maybe some eggs in the corners. Not much room here for eggs. Thank you. And this side likewise. Lots of capped brood, lots of bee bread, lots of nectar at the top. Full frame of brood. Not much room left. Anything you want to see in particular, or just?
Are they seeming aggressive?
No, they're really not.
It's one thing to see them on the video, and it's like, wow.
So this is nectar. It'll be capped honey soon. All of these brown cappings, those are over worker brood. You can see the little white grubs. Those are the open brood. This up here, where it looks dry, that's pollen. And down here where you see some of the same colors, but it's moist, that's bee bread. They've mixed it with nectar. And we've got some here at the very edges. You see very young brood, and in the bottom of these cells you've got eggs. Just a little, looks like a little white grain of rice there.
Yeah, I see them.
They're very calm. Can't believe they're
Yeah, I was like more surprised. That's close I've gotten from this time, for yours at least. Yeah, they are really calm.
All right. This one just has the look of older brood. A lot of these, you can see the difference between the capping here and here. These bubble out. Those are drones.
Are they trying to bridge between the over that side?
Oh, right here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just saw a hive beetle I was going to try to show you, but they're escape artists. And look at this really orange pollen.
Oh, okay.
And there's some yellow pollen right there. So each bee, when they go out to forage for pollen, they decide whether they're after pollen or after nectar and what type of each. But they'll only visit flowers of one variety for the duration of a trip. And then on a subsequent trip they might change. But they
should be a mix though.
That's why you see those distinct colors, is because they've been visiting a particular type of flower that has a particular type of pollen.
It's a fly.
Yeah. All right, so that was frame 2. Here's frame 1. And usually, whatever frame is in that very end position is mostly food storage. And this one, because they were limited on space, they've got some brood in it, but it is still mostly food storage. All of the, about a full quarter, a third of the frame is nectar and bee bread, pollen and bee bread. A little bit of nectar. And then the bottom is brood, probably just because the queen didn't have enough space elsewhere to lay. Oh, now on this side,
yeah,
a lot more brood. This is a good looking frame. You've got to watch this bottom part though, because it's not as securely tied to the sides. It sags a little bit. All right. Everything that you see, all of this.
I got one bother me.
Okay, yeah, just step back as far as you need. Everything that is built on this frame has been put in there since February of this year. They're not stinging you, are they?
No. He's just making his presence known.
Didn't need to do that. So I just dropped my hive tool into the box. All that did is make them upset.
This one does not like me.
Huh?
This one does not like me.
Hive tool retrieved.
I think she was saying, you're not my normal beekeeper.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is comb that is not on the frames, so we call it burr comb. And if you let them keep building that, they'll just make it messier and messier. Got stung?
Yeah. No. Yeah,
Where?
I'm good. I was just like, oh, I got tapped.
Oh, just tapped?
Yeah.
Okay. If you get a stinger in, let me know, because it's best to get those out as quick as possible.
Yep. Does the weather make them aggressive anymore, or just?
Yeah, it can be.
Okay.
Time of day. Yeah, I know.
You just let them build their own. You don't put a vacuum on them.
Sometimes. I'm experimenting a little bit. Now here's the tricky part. With this type of frame, they meet at the top. So if I've got bees in between the frames and I try to close it up, I squish them.
Yeah.
And I don't like to do that. So I have to give them a little smoke right at the top as I'm closing everything up. I think I'm going to go ahead and give them a second extra frame, just to make sure. It's funny how much different the frames look.
Mm-hmm.
It's all from bee feet.
Because they're tracking around the dirt and stuff.
Yep. Okay, now we've got this big open area. And these bees, if they encounter the bees in the other side of the colony, can tend to fight. So what I'm trying to do is to get these bees to retreat to the safety of their brood nest, at least to greatly reduce the population that's here. Once they do, now I'm going to take this up and move it all the way over here.
Okay, that makes sense.
And squished a hive beetle. So now this hive has room to work, and this one's all enclosed. All right, so what I always do is I number from the side that the entrance is on.
Mm-hmm.
So on this side, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we just added 5 and 6. And this side, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And I may add a couple there as well. We'll see how that goes once I get into it. So I always inspect from the outside towards the entrance. So frame 5. This is a very new frame.
Oh, wow.
You can see they're building their own comb. And so far, it has eggs. It's got both nectar and eggs in there. So they're going to use this for brood. I'm going to set this out to give me a little room to work with. Now, I did not see the queen, but there was all kinds of evidence that the queen is there and doing fine. So maybe we'll have better luck in this one. Both of these queens, I believe, are marked with a little red dot on the back. Here we see brood of several different stages, capped and uncapped, and smaller and bigger. Lots of nectar. They are not short on nectar right now, despite several days of rain. Same on this side. The brood is more limited on this side, much more nectar here. All right, so we're just gonna slide that down. Frame 3. Yeah, and I'm gonna add at least 1, if not 2, new frames here.
Ooh.
All right, now this is one they have not drawn to my, oh, and here's, this I believe started as some comb reclaimed from a cutout. And so it's not the straightest frame, but it's not terrible, except that they're starting to do a second layer on the other side. But as long as they're working the other frame, I think that'll keep that in check. So a lot of brood here. It's pretty full. There's not a lot of room for a queen to be laying on this frame. Same on this side. So
That's unique.
these, right now we've got 2 frames that are almost full of brood. And if you have 1 frame, the rule of thumb is if you have 1 frame of brood, it will result in the equivalent of 3 frames of bee coverage. So in other words, this level of population, when these 2 frames hatch out, it will be, they effectively would need 6 or no, 4 more frames,
Yeah.
just to give the bees a place to rest, because these frames are well populated.
Oh yeah.
Now this is a second layer of comb, and I don't want them doing that, so I'm going to take it away from them. And there's another full frame of brood. And another full frame of brood. This little hive is just going gangbusters.
Mm-hmm.
So these guys I'm going to take out to Cameron next weekend.
Okay.
All right, so there's no significant hive beetle issues, no wax moths at all. Lots of brood, lots of food. It's well distributed throughout the hive. Lots of extra population. The only thing they need is more space to build on. They have a little bit of space on that last frame, almost half a frame's worth. But I think I'd better give them 2 more,
Oh, sorry, is your way.
2 more frames just to be sure. Because I think the brood is a little denser here than on the other side. All right, so now a little smoke and I'll start to put them back together. What was that?
Your tool.
Just drop that one in the bucket. That's my spare. Smoking the beekeeper out. Okay, so I'm going to leave this open space for this side because they've got a little more population, I think. So I'll let them expand into this area as they need to. Now, the other thing I want to do, though, I saw some signs in another hive that they are already starting to feel the effects of the heat. And so I think I'm going to open up that third entrance at the top for ventilation so that the hot air can rise and escape the hive. Problem with that is it involves me standing bare-legged in front of their flight zone. You're going to see how much I can reach over the side. Okay. And now I can get a breeze in there. Well, they're in good shape.
Yep.
They just need to draw more honeycomb, and both halves should be doing fine.